Alright friend, you're welcome to this special edition. Ademiluyi right here, and in this video we are going to be talking about something that usually causes a kind of issue in exports and import business. That is something that actually makes some exporter to be very sad. You understand? That is when you try to contact a buyer and they rejected your offer, or they don't even give any reply to your messages. This is a very common issue, especially when you are just getting started into the export business. You will discover that there are some times that you send out some offer requests to some buyers and they turn down the offer due to one thing or the other. But before we move on, let me quickly pass this information across, and I'm happy to say thank you, and I really appreciate everything you've done during the time when we lost our main sim, but now we've been able to retrieve it back. You understand? 09068515601. It is now available. You can now reach us through this number easily. You understand? So we're now using two lines to get across. 08121041851 is also working. And don't forget that if you have any question, maybe you don't want to be calling always, you can use our email nifadfarm@gmail.com. you understand? Or you can send it to my personal box using gmail.com too. All these ways are way to get across to us if you have any question regarding export and import business. You understand? Thank you for being here always. So like I said earlier, we're going to be dealing with a kind of problem. It's a very serious problem in this kind of business where you send out export over, you understand, to some buyers, you discover they turn it down. So what can be the issue? Actually, in the community, we've treated this particular problem, you understand, and most of the people are be able to get through more sales. See, there are a whole lot of things that can cause this, you understand, from maybe if you are just getting started, or you don't even have any issue, you don't even really understand what an export business really is, and just try to sell. You might be having this particular problem. You get. So I'm going to be putting out some reasons why buyers turn down or reject your export request. Number one is trust. It's happened even in our local markets right here. You understand? There are some certain times that you actually want to buy something from someone, but because you don't really trust either the seller, you understand, or the brand that the seller is trying to sell to you, if you actually don't trust it, you discover that you turn down the sales over. This thing also happens in international business. You understand? When you are dealing with someone you actually don't know, you get. So there is tendency that when you are trying to sell to them, at the very first time they are going to be turned down this over. You understand? The reason here is that they are being afraid of being scammed. Let me tell you this. Sometimes ago, I was actually trying to buy something, you understand, an agro product from one of the farmers here, because I know that most of these people actually, they are not that real, you understand, until you see them one-on-one. So the man was like trying to, send me different kind of messages, persuasion and all this thing. Okay, and I was okay, there is no problem, let me come down to where you are, you get. But this thing also happening in international business. Buyers won't come down when they actually don't know you, when they are dealing with you for the first time, you understand. So here is that when buyers don't trust you, the tendency that they are going to turn down your offer, you get. Another thing is language barriers. See, it is an international business. The person you are dealing with might actually not understand general language, which is English language. So you should do everything as an exporter to know how to get your offer to them in a language that they understand. Under this language offer, there's another thing called culture. You understand? Maybe in my next video or in the community, I'm going to explain better on this. You understand? At times, when what you are trying to sell does not really appealing to their culture, they can also turn down the offer. You understand? Another point here is when the buyer perceive no value in what you are trying to sell to them. This thing is very common to Nigerian markets, especially those who are coming up as the exporter. Here it is. You want to sell everything to everybody. You want to be the one selling cashew nuts. You want to be the one selling yam flour. You want to be the same person, and you want to be selling to the same set of markets. It won't work. You understand? Because, for instance, now someone who is selling foodstuff over there in UK or US or any other part of the world will see an offer in yam flour than when you are trying to sell yam flour to someone who is actually producing beauty products. You get now? So when your offer is contradicting what the buyer is producing or what they are going to be using it for, there's tendency that they are going to turn down your export offer as well. Another one is flexibility in terms. A few weeks ago, I treated with us there that is the common terms in export and import business, that is the terminology that's very common. Then I mentioned CRF, FOB and the rest. You get, if you watch the video, you understand what I'm saying. Now this flexibility as an exporter, we are always you see, importers want you to understand this language. They want you to understand the terms very well. You get, and what is the flexibility here is that if someone is maybe an importer is looking for exporter that can offer them 100% LC, let's use that for an instance, and at the same time who can offer them on CIF. If you are unable to meet up with this term, buyer will turn down your sales offer. You understand? So the last part here, which is very common again, is aggressive selling. Oh my god, see, when you are trying to sell your products, this thing happened in my community of recent. You understand? Between a Nigerian lady and wasn't on a Chinese or Indian buyer or something like that. You get, the lady was like selling to the buyer, and the buyer is actually ready to buy, but the way the lady was trying to force the products, you understand what I'm saying now, force the product on the buyer was like, this thing is getting too much. Then the buyer, according to the lady, the buyer started selling some kind of message that is no longer interested in buy. You understand? Until we handle the issue. Now this is what happened when you are this line of business. Your product is still with you, don't forget, and the buyer is still with the money. Don't let the buyer see as if you are hungry to make sale. You understand? The purpose of selling is because you want to make profit. And even if you are dealing with a very smart buyer, you get, when they see that you are too very aggressive in your selling, they either price your product so low or they see you as a scam. You understand? Last year December, that's 2017 December, about 2 months ago, I was trying to import something for my family. You understand? The Chinese madam will be like, when am I going to make the payments? We have not even just talking on the transaction more than 2 times. So she started asking me when I'm going to go to bank to make payments. You understand? He started asking me how big my first import is going to be. I was like, you don't need all these things, just tell me the quantity you have in store. You understand? And the quality, that's all. Then your last price, that's all I need. You don't need to force me when I'm going to go to bank. It sounds somehow. You understand? So that's it. Most of the Nigerian exporters, or just let me say that most of the exporters as well, they made this type of mistakes. They want to sell by all means. No, even if selling is what that give you money, don't make it to be too aggressive. You understand? Because you will look somehow, or you will look scam to who is even interested in your business, in your product. That's it. So these are the 5 reasons why buyers may turn down or reject your export business offer. Number 1 is trust. The second one is language barrier. When buyer don't perceive any value in what you are trying to sell to them, when you don't have full knowledge of terms, and when you don't even know how to use them, or you don't meet up with their terms, you understand, then when you are too aggressive in your selling, all these things might make you lose even a very important export sale, you understand. So what are the solutions? Let's look at some solutions. Number 1 to trust is you try to be natural. If you have been in export owner community course, you understand, in the community, we'll be talking about how to be natural, you understand, be friendly with anybody that comes your way. Do you even imagine that you can sell your product to exporter while you make a lot of profit? You understand? Someone in Cote d'Ivoire can buy cocoa from you. You understand? It doesn't mean, you understand. So just try to be natural. Learn how to build a relationship that brings about trust. You get? This is the first week. When you join Export Monarch, this is the first thing that we are going to open your eyes to. After you get the course, in the continuous training, we teach how to build relationship. And the only way you can do this is when you know how to build buyer list. You understand? So we talk about that. So be natural and unique in where you are dealing with importers. Another solution is when you are having a language barrier, that is when you are dealing with someone who does not understand English language fluently, or in a country where your buyer does not even understand English at all. You try to use something that I call sales rep or sales agent or an online application. What I mean by sales agents is these are set of people that they are there. They might be from Nigeria here, or even sales rep over there. They represent you. You understand? They might be your friend, your family, or business partner or associate. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that they understand the language of the person you are trying to sell to. You understand? And they stay there. They understand their market. As I'm talking to you right now, there will be some company sales agents or agents that will be here in Nigeria right now during this cashew nut season. They will be buying cashew nuts. These people, they understand our language very, very well. Most of them can speak our language, I mean the English language. Even most of them can speak some all this local language that we are speaking. You understand? They can speak it. So when you have partner like this in abroad, you can tell them you are trying to sell to this person, but he's unable to understand your language. You understand? So when you now bring in the sales agent or the sales rep into contact, it will be able to translate your language to the buyer. You understand? So with that, you'll be able to make the sale. Another solution to the language barrier is just to use an online application. There are some online applications provided by Google, and most of these applications, they are free. You understand? There is one popular like that, Google Translation. You can translate even from Yoruba to any language you understand. So all you just have to do is when you are dealing with a buyer who does not really understand your language, let them speak in the language that they want while you convert it to English language. You need to understand that you are trying to make an international sale here. So every word is salt. You understand? Every effort that you do, the word is salt. So what I'm trying to say here is that I do use this application. You understand? When I try, especially when I try to sell some people from the area where we are having issue with language, I talk in their language. You get using this application. What I do is that I visit this language. If I'm trying to sell to Chinese or India, for instance, all I just to do is I will select English as the main language. Then language to translate to will be in my target country. You understand? So when I write everything I want to write in English language, I will click on translate. It will be translated to their language. I copy are sent to them. So this they will read easily, and it gives me an opportunity to make sale. Another thing is that you need to understand how to avoid aggressive sales tactics. You understand? It's very it's a kind of useless attitude. I don't even like it. You understand me now? So don't try to force people to buy your products. You understand? Instead, let them see value in what you are trying to sell to them. Because when someone is dealing with you for the first time, and maybe after an open transaction, or like, okay, what is your product all about? And you said, when are you going to buy? When are you going to bank? You understand? Like, how many quantity will you need? The person is actually interested in the products, so you don't have to dictate the quantity he's going to buy. You want just to tell him what you have in stock, the price, as well as the value that they will gain when they buy from you. So that is it. Don't be too aggressive when you are trying to sell to people. You understand? Let them see value. It is the value that attracts buyers. You understand? Not your aggressive sales tactics. That's it. The last one here is that make sure you learn and understand how to write a professional sales offer. Let me tell you one thing. All these things we have been saying since morning, be natural, sales agent or rep on application, tactics or no tactics. If you have the best skills and your sales offer looks somehow, you understand, buyer will still be leaving you and prefer other people to you. You understand? That is it. You must learn how to write a professional offer letter. See, when you have been dealing in export and import business for a few times, you understand, you will know that most of these people, they have preference. And then you understand what I mean by that. So if you try to say to them what they don't need, if you sound too good in your offer, they will turn you down. So it is always good that you go straight to the point and be professional. You don't beg when you are writing an offer. Let them see value, that's all, and be open to negotiations. So all these things, especially on how to write professional offer and build a kind of relationship that the buyer will trust, is what we teach, you understand, as a continuous study and bonus to our export monarch course, which you can easily download it using the below link here, bit.ly/ANCK2. You understand? Apart from the fact that export monarch discuss and teach you about how to go into export business, right from sourcing the products to packaging and other things. In the continuous study, what we give as a value more than actually the price of this particular course. You understand? So that's just it. And I think if you follow everything we are giving in this course, you should not have any problem in export business. So don't forget, I said our number 09068515601 is now fully available. You can reach us on this line to ask us any question. You understand? And you can also join our community using http://m.me/NiFad. Please, you will need to write it as is. That's the only way to get to that community. Just make sure you write it as it. So that's it. If you are having issue in the area where buyers are actually rejecting your offer, you get, these are the things that I want you to look at. You understand? These are the things that I want you to put into action. Make sure that you correct all the errors that we have been talking about since morning, and I'm very sure you are going to have them close to you. What actually matters to importers the most is the kind of relationship you build with them. Then number two is how presentable your offer is. If you don't know how to do this, most of the time you'll be having the same issue. On that note, I'll be saying thank you for the time spent. May God bless you. Bye for now.